away Doombee's Karma, which has an over 60% ban rate against FPX. No one gives this champion to the mid laner.
No, Doombee's been playing this quite a lot. He looks great on it, and his ability to set up both TN and LWX with this like Graves and Ophelia, well, Ophelia's gone, but this double AD carry style for FPX works super well. But we won't be getting our hands on it this time around. Instead, FPX still hovering over the last ban here. We'll have to see what they do decide to go with against OMG. Always the option go towards like a Syndra or a Zoe, which have been by far and away Icon's strongest champions.
Especially when we're opened up with an extra ban. There goes the Zoe, as you mentioned. Nicely done. But the Syndra could be the first pick gift for OMG.
Yeah, and I mean, look, this is pretty much stock standard here for OMG. Icon has looked great on that Syndra, so I'm excited to see what he can do here again. And it definitely feels like when OMG are able to set up with this more front-to-back style fight, they have a bit more success, rather than having Icon on some of these flankers like an Echo or something along these lines. So this is starting to feel like OMG at least getting onto the right footing with this Syndra.
But let's transition over to FPX, because only a couple of teams have done this where TF priority has been first pick worthy, whether it's blue side or red side. And as we know for Doombee, he has played this only once, actually, in the split so far, with Senna getting locked in over to LWX.
I think that's the surprising thing, though, is that it feels like such a Doombee champion. You know, likes to roam, likes to get in a lane, and this is something that suits that style very well. So I expected him to pick it up much more. Delighted to see it now. Curious to see it paired with this Senna, though. Because oftentimes Senna, like, she can do a decent amount of damage in the mid game, but not like enough that you can carry super late, like the likes of an Ezreal or something along these lines. So it means that then you're pretty heavily spiking in the mid game here for FPX, unless we're going towards that fasting Senna. But usually in the LPL, we've been seeing this farming Senna much more. We
haven't seen that yet. OMG, I'm going to pause on this because, of course, we saw it in the LEC towards mid Dagda. But thinking about what's going to round it out, a couple of 80 carries available. SMLZ has been a Jhin player, but opts in for the Ashe this time around.
Yeah, and I like this here. You've got a strong pick opportunity here on OMG with the Syndra and that Ashe. You've got some decent team fight as well that's coming through. On the opposite side, Tien is going to go for his Rek'Sai, saying, hey, look, Hacker, if you want to go towards Lee Sin, I'm going to just beat you level 1 to 5 and try and take over for the game from there.
Also, Tien, this has been a favorite in the past. His Elise, his Rek'Sai have been quite notable champions. Also, was really good at freeing up Doombee the mid lane, getting the gank, and letting him enable the map. But this...
You hit a really good point there, is that mid lane. Like, you've great gank setup as well with that Twisted Fate. You've got multiple different angles you can come in from with this Rek'Sai as well. So Icon will have his work cut out from here. Always has to be wary of a gold card into this gank and a massive burst damage coming through.
A lot of lockdown there with the already global pressure that FPX will provide with TF and the center ulti. While we're taking some off the board, Ornn's going to be banned by OMG, but the Bard is curious. Cold has played only one game, but of course big meta.
So what they're basically looking at on FPX's side is, hey, we're going for this Senna. We're not going to have a super aggressive bottom lane. So getting rid of some of these supports that can survive a bottom lane like that and have massive impact in that mid game, like this Bard, we're going to just take them off the board, and means that then you still got to put major focus on this bottom lane when it comes to this support role.
That's why the Braum taken away is pretty good. Braum and Ashe. A nice pairing here in the LPL, plus the pick potential already built up by OMG. Would exceed expectations then, but Wukong taken away from Gimgoon. Now, we talked about global pressure. FPX do have a GP to pick up here or last.
I'd rather they leave it to last. I like the idea of giving Gimgoon the counter pick here, especially when you're looking at the support matchup. Okay, yes, you could argue about a counter pick, but honestly, you know you're against the Senna. You know this is going to be a pretty uninteractive laning phase, so just having something that pairs well with this pick potential and setting up for a double engage alongside the Twisted Fate, who wants the Destiny into these team fights, the Nautilus works great. On the opposite side, could go for something like the Leona here. You've got this heavy engage tool coming through from the Ashe, double down with that solar flare, and you can very quickly pick off these fights or have these strong engages to catch off FPX before Doombee on this Twisted Fate can come in.
It's quite nice to see the Renekton here. Of course, a lot of people across the world bag out Renekton, but here in the LPL it does a pretty decent job. But blind picked into Gimgoon. See if he has the gumption to get the counter matchup. We've seen the Quinn from many different players so far, but will we see it out of the top laner of FPX?
Could even go back towards that gangplank you were talking about.
That's
It's
true.
a super strong top lane pick there. You've got some really strong side lane pressure then coming through from Twisted Fate, and that gangplank, plus that pick potential is really high. and works super well against the comp OMG have.
Yep.
Like, Ashe hates that she's going to be slowed. Same with this Syndra. That's a great opportunity here for that gangplank.
I love that I was talking to GP the whole draft, and I'm like,
There's one
maybe
second you
Quinn.
doubt it.
Yeah. But for Gimgoon, this is a stock standard. He and Zoom of JDG are the two best GPs in the league. And seeing Gimgoon return to the stage, his debut in summer, he returns to Gangplank.
Yeah, good to have the gangplank back in Gimgoon's hands, and he's got himself a perfect matchup in that top lane. It's really difficult for this Renekton to try and get on top of him, and pretty much unless Curse can win out from level 1 where he's able to get these really good trades, Gangplank will just be fine to power on up into those late game stages where he becomes an absolute monster.
I mean, there is a lot of global pressure here. Once the ball gets rolling, FPX, you're going to look different angles if you're OMG.
Exactly. So when you're OMG, the whole idea here with this composition is that you want to try and set up at objectives so you can have this front-to-back fight where you got the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, you got this way of engaging off the Scatter of the Weak and setting up then for Curse and this Renekton to get into the team fights. However, though, that's very difficult to do because, as you said, when we look over at FPX's side, it's all about the side lanes, it's all about having strong lane presence in the Gangplank, having that Twisted Fate with the Destiny and the TP available, so they've always able to join these fights a lot faster. And FPX then, if they can get ahead in the early game off of this Rek'Sai from Tien, can start to use that tempo advantage and just shove in perfectly.
At the very least, I will be looking at the mid 2 versus 2, especially from OMG. The strength of a Syndra Lee Sin we know, but also how Tien can free up Doomby to start roaming down. For FPX, recently, they have been in a bit of a trough. You know, they've been... What's the best word to use here? They've been down, but not out. Yeah, the rut is strong. 5 and 6 right now for the world champions of 2019. They came off the back of MSC finals. Of course, not the champion, but they came second. Ran into the split. They've been a bit shaky ever since. We have to see what form of FPX we get here today. Whether OMG can challenge them, because OMG sitting at 3 and 7 is not good news for their fans either. Who runs ahead? Game 1 will definitely get a sense of the stronger team in this series. And honestly, the fact that I can't tell either way is not good news for FPX, but might be for OMG.
Exactly, and I think that's the big thing here is that both these teams have looked super shaky. I will give the edge to FPX. They have been looking, at least even in some of their defeats, strong. It's just been a couple of late game calls that have been very messy. So we have to see if OMG, though, can at least take a game or even push them the full way through this series.
I mean, the problem is FPX haven't picked up an individual game win in 4 series time. Top esports, Rogue Warriors, JDG were all 2-0s against them. So, yeah, can they recover will be the constant question here. Let's go, because for LWX Glacial Augment, we have been seeing the CSing center once again with the Doran's Blade start. I'm sure we'll see it. Yep, there again. Here from the AD carry. Doesn't pick up as many souls, but does a hell of a lot more damage.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, don't forget we did see the buffs that came through in patch 8.13. So Senna, whenever she kills a creep, has an 8.33% champion or chance to pick up a soul.
I have to interrupt you because it's FPX GP. Gimgoon is wearing his skin. And are we going to get the spectacle of this top laner? I think so.
Well, already you can see Gimgoon is taking these fantastic trades. Has the Grasp of the Undying here, so it makes it very difficult for Curse to actually do anything. And once this lane gets passed into like level 2, level 3, Gimgoon can just sit in the barrel, doesn't have to worry about this big engage coming through the Curse. With access to that remove Scurvy as well, so that stun and slice and dice combo that Curse wants to go for isn't really a factor.
Seeing who can get to first. Bit of trading going on up. Now the passive available. Gimgoon still whacking away. Sustain should be available at 2, but Curse, of course, presses Q.
Well, Gimgoon has that Corrupting Pot anyway, so he's just fine to keep working through all those different stacks, and he'll be fine. He's going to end up winning out in the long run. And the thing here is that with Tien pathing down towards this bottom side, Gimgoon just wants to try and make sure that there's no crash underneath his turret, so then Hacker could potentially go for any sort of that third wave crash shenanigans on that top lane turret.
Yeah, very true. Tien now going to be picking up his Raptors, but spotted out by the ward that we saw. He cleared. Hacker the same at Raptors, just placed by Doinby, who got a bit of a shove out in this lane and then walked back on in.
So, be curious to see now how this jungle pathing both goes for Tien and Hacker. Because as we said, they're both pathing to opposite sides, but because SMLZ and Cold have this push in on bottom side, there's always the opportunity if they wanted to try and contest at this scuttle, but may not decide to go for it here, as FPX will shove out this wave relatively fast.
Okay, well, Cold at least going to get some information down with the ward placed. Note, it is an Ocean Dragon starting here in this game, number 1. And especially when we've seen Tahm, Kench, and Ashe, the early game damage that can come through. The ability to power through bot available for OMG is Tien. Level 3 Rek'Sai. Oh, we're looking top again. Are you ready? Barrel chain. Orange was already used before. And this is a good trade by Curse.
Yeah, it's not bad. And again, potential here for Hacker, as we talked about, to go for a dive underneath the turret as he makes his way up, especially with Gimgoon this low, but the wave isn't quite going to be able to crash, so you need Curse to go pretty aggressive to try and push this wave in.
He's behind enemy lines for now, while Tien spotted mid to get the shove with Doomby. Will be pathing up himself, so this becomes a little bit risky for Hacker, depending on how quickly he can get here.
Going for the... looks like the play here.
Has enough mana for us to potion is used one more time. Flashes away underneath turret. Curse the first blood, and Hacker as well. Welcome back to Gimgoon. Don't dive his GP.
You're not supposed to give him a present when he comes back onto the rift. The double kill over for Gimgoon. We said that, look, Curse couldn't shove that wave fast enough. Then the pressure started to mount when they saw Tien pathing towards top side. And now Tien is in absolutely fantastic position alongside Gimgoon. Gimgoon got the double kill, but Tien has been able to farm up far faster than Hacker has. So Tien now has a bunch of his level 3 camps respawning. So he's way ahead of Hacker now in an already good matchup. But this was fantastic from Gimgoon. That flash away means the Sonic Wave doesn't hit, and the ramp-up damage from the tower takes down Hacker as well.
I mean, he got the grasp, he got the passive as well, the trial by fire. Gimgoon now has a sheen. So, good luck to Curse in this lane. And you'd be kicking yourself there if you're OMG. That's such a big deficit you've given over to a late-game scaling champion.
Yeah, they are going to be really annoyed here. And look, it's not even like you lost out on too much there as Gimgoon. Like, yes, the wave was underneath the tower, but he managed to clear most of it as well. So that CS deficit going to be helped out with those 2 kills going across as well. So, I mean, overall, this was what we were worried about for OMG. Sometimes they try to make these early aggressive plays, but they just can't quite get the execution down.
Comes back to the conversation where Gimgoon was that weak side top laner that FPX could rely on. And now they don't have to really worry about him again because he's got a lead against the Renekton, which he already did well against. And you can see Tien's like, all right, well, hovering around mid. Doomby gets the shove. He's going to push out the turret a bit and maybe get a bit of turret plating. Well, Tien now heading towards the bottom side, setting up the Dragon.
Icon, though, did recall and didn't burn his teleport. So basically what Icon is trying to do right now is match wherever this first Destiny goes, because he will lose out on minions in the mid lane, but because Doomby used his own TP to get back to lane, it means that Icon can always match wherever this Twisted Fate goes.
At the moment, though, he doesn't have to go anywhere because Tien has just soloed down the Dragon. LWX is hungry for some souls and will pick up 2 for himself. So early lead here for FPX, as stated before, but for Tien, gets a bit of experience off that Dragon as well. Curious to see, what's the difference? Okay, the Dragon CS is the difference now for Tien. Hacker's gone back to base. He's picked up Caulfield's Warhammer. And Tien and Doomby are roaming around together. Okay, Dominus used. Gimgoon has TP, remember, so even if he gets forced out here, it doesn't matter. I
mean, even as the Biscuits as well, like, he's going to be fine. You've got, like, Grasp to heal, you've got the pots, you've got the Biscuits. Gimgoon's going to be sitting in this lane for a little bit of time.
Hang on, he wants a solo kill, though. Cannon Barrage lay it down. Let's take out solo kill.
He was actually a little bit worried about where Hacker was positioned because they were assuming that Hacker would be pathing again through this top side. So a little bit cautious as to if they were going to go for another dive. And obviously not having flash available means it's a lot easier for OMG to execute on that dive this time around.
At least with the Cannon Barrage as well, pushing that out means he can actually walk back to lane, holds onto the TP. And Curse did use his ulti as well, but Curse ahead in CS in this lane for now. The 2 kills are going to make it so it's not much of a difference.
You can see what you were talking about, though. For
Destiny. TP, talk about matching. There it is. Dagger Icon on the way, but Doomby there first. Exhausted away, healed away. Scattered away, hits onto LWX. Icon has ulti available, but nothing happens. 3 versus 3 until Chris says re-engage. They lock down. Senna sends in the root. And Gold Card follows up as well, but where's the damage?
Still could be coming with Tien, though, where he has hit level 6, so there is that execute potential. But I'm surprised, as he said, I thought FPX were going to wait for Tien to try and join in on this bottom lane play, so you end up with that numbers advantage. Because we already talked about, look, Hacker went up towards that top side, cleared away the red from Tien, and Tien knew it because he invaded on the other side. So I was waiting for FPX to go with the numbers advantage playing the bottom side, but it never actually came to fruition, so wasted Destiny there from Doomby. Now, we'll have a little bit more mobility as that teleport will become available a lot quicker over Icons, but it's still well played from OMG to dissuade any sort of play.
Also would have been a very different play if Gimgoon had his ulti, right? You know, that cannon barrage coming down maybe could have laid enough to pick up the kill.
I don't fault Gimgoon for using that ult on the top lane, though.
Not.
I actually, like, that was a smart play because Hacker was in that top side. And definitely Hacker is looking to split the map here. That's what I was going to point out was OMG are definitely looking to play around Curse in this game. You've already seen a lot of attention from Hacker towards that top side, but even stealing away the camps of Tien here means Tien's forced to path back down towards that bottom side because he's got nothing left on the top. So it's OMG trying to stay, or have Tien stay away from this top lane.
We're doing this again though, Dagda. Curse going to be poked on out. Hacker has the ulti available. Kick flash right into Curse. Cannon barrage not available. Gimgoon's flash not either, and that's some retribution going over to Hacker.
Yeah, finally able to take him down, and you can see that CS lead is actually starting to open up thanks to all this pressure that Hacker is putting towards that top lane. And now, with that kill and that 15 seconds still left on the death timer, they can turn towards Riptide.
Ninja Tabi rushed here for Gimgoon. He's like, I've had enough of this. We are going to optimize very fairly as Doomby walks bottom. 4 members here while Rift Herald's going on, and FPX are going to try and make this trade quick.
I mean, look, they will be able to answer for the turret plates that Curse is getting on that top side, but you do have to be careful here because you've now TP'd in as Gimgoon. You also have the Rift Herald that's about to be taken by Hacker. They can just use this top side, take this first turret, and start collecting even more resources into Curse.
As you can see, OMG through multiple lanes. It's mid as well. But the pressure's down. Doomby can't walk in safely. Hacker versus 4 in this turret. This is a really good move by OMG.
Especially when you know that LWX is so slow at taking turrets on this Senna. Ash, because she's got the Ranger's focus, and actually going for that BF build, is going to do a lot of damage to these structures.
Even Curse is here. He's like, all right, boys, let's try and take this. Turret will stay standing, but OMG do spread a lot of turret plating across the board and actually put themselves in with a small gold lead at this point in the game. As Abyssal Voyage to get back to lane. Only a short leap at this point.
It is interesting to see SMLZ's choice of itemization here, though, because usually we see the Blade of the Rune King come out first from the Ashe, but he's going straight towards that Infinity Edge. So looking much more heavily at these auto attacks and how heavily he can hit, because when we look at FPX's side, well, you don't have a huge amount of tanks, so the extra max health damage you would get out of the Blade of the Rune King not going to do too much. You're also not in a very oppressive lane against LWX and Chris, so the lifesteal doesn't do a huge amount. So it's more so SMLZ trying to be a carry and that consistent damage for OMG in this case.
Think about how big these people on OMG are with their first items as well. Stinger, Renekton.
Yeah.
As Ashe going to join that crew. Nice little orange out of Gimgoon. Starting to trade back pretty favorably here, but has a lot of CS to gain upon. 30 down of Curse. This is why we complimented Curse, because Curse is the top laner, has been in that upper echelon. He's been the shining light of OMG. In this game, like we said, he will be tested, and so far doing a good job.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of that has been off the health of Hacker, and that's why we are highlighting, look, Curse gets a lot of help from Hacker to try and help out, and it makes sense in this scenario where Gimgoon is going to be a menace in a side lane. We already talked about how good this matchup is for him. Trying to dissuade that, shut it down early so it takes a lot longer for Gimgoon to come online, means it's more difficult for FPX to opt into these side lane plays, and OMG can actually make this team fight composition work.
Think about how much more dangerous if Curse picks up that Black Cleaver first. Especially since we're sitting on TP with an objective up bottom side. Okay, Destiny, Dredge line, Cold might be caught on out here. Gold card lands down. That's a bit of nuking from FPX as SMLZ cornered against wall. Hacker has to flash away. Now, LWX does have the darkness at the ready. Lays it down onto 2 as TP's being burnt. This is Curse. The Fed member in the Renekton into Dominus as he'll be rooted down. Tier flashes over the wall. Icon caught out in the backside while Chris will sacrifice his life. But OMG keep their jungler alive, if only just.
But they will have a low health jungler, which means FPX can turn towards this dragon if they want to. Gimgoon had started to walk down from the top lane, thought the play was over, but then realized, oh, Curse is actually teleporting in, so tries to walk back down, but it's too little too late, and it means that they're able to get one kill back over in the hands of OMG. Tien still sitting here, though, looking for SMLZ.
He wants SMLZ. Cold is by his side, though, Enchanted Crystal Arrow and Tien. That is such a mistake. He's going to be healed up, but you know, with the exhaust, he's going down. FPX's jungler made a boo-boo.
And remember what we said about FPX in the opening segment? They make these mistakes. They're their own worst enemies at times, and that was a prime example. Tien going too far, not respecting that. You don't really have burst damage between yourself or LWX to take down SMLZ. Misses everything anyway, and that gives that first dragon to OMG.
And that is not Tien's Rek'Sai, I remember, from 2019 whatsoever. Second dragon in the pocket, this time to OMG. Spawns an Infernal Rift. And OMG still sitting on that 400 gold lead here at 13 minutes in the game. Doombeat, meanwhile, split pushing this turret. Going to give him enough gold to head towards that second item. He's already got the Rod of Ages, so and actually a bit of a CS lead over the Syndra. It's been a pretty good game for Doombeat, pretty controlled so far.
And a lot of this has been Icon trying to manage his teleport to match Doombeat on these roaming plays. So it has been Icon getting backs, but actually after Doombeat's already shoved the wave in from teleporting back in. So that's where that CS deficit is coming from. And then Icon once again has this teleport now available to try and match Doombeat if he does make any sort of these wacky plays across the line. But honestly, FPX, they're the ones that don't really need to put too much pressure down right now. Like, yes, it's great that you can have Doombeat here make these Destiny plays when the opportunity arises, but they're the comp that scales better. Gimgoon will take over in a side lane. Doombeat will have a lot of work for himself in that bottom side or in a side lane, being able to press in onto these towers. So there's no rush for FPX to make these plays.
As OMG, you can see that persuasiveness towards the top side is built up by a hacker saying, hey, Curse, I should come on in here. Gimgoon just walks to the brush, thinks about it, walks away. Is he? No one else is here.
Look, that's the weak side top laner senses tingling. He knows.
Hang on.
Oh, no.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
He's been out of practice for too long. Gimgoon is just dead with Dominus. How do you run? Sonic Wave into the Tongue Lash, and they want to give that one to Curse. So it will be done, and Gimgoon dies his third death.
And FPX aren't in a position to try and turn anything around. Tien's bot side, Doombeat's in the same boat. So they will be able to answer at least maybe with the turn on the bottom lane, but it looks like OMG have their eyes set on mid lane as that SMLZ arrow goes down to stop the push bot side.
Yeah, he's like, well, let's get the setup. Pings go down from LWX as well as Scout of the Week does connect. Icon onto Doombeat, and Sonic Wave was just shy. Wave will be cleared away, and OMG have to back away in the same vein. But first turret blood over to OMG nets them that gold advantage. And still, we're seeing cleaner play out of OMG. When they play topside, it feels like they know their game plan.
And that game plan is really coming through here. They just answered again. Another turret on topside for Curse. Now looking at Doombeat mid.
Sonic Wave again. Hacker wants to close the gap. Scout of the Week short once more. Red card will help clear this wave.
They do buy mid-party with that play, though, so they can move over towards Rift Herald. But look at where FPX are positioned now. They could end up trading this Rift Herald for a tier 2 on bottom side. It's been a long time since you said it.
Yeah, I wasn't even talking about Gimgoon. Doombeat does have Destiny, so he's going to sit mid for now. Icon and Cole both backed away while Herald's being taken. And the move here, while Gimgoon, you can see him topside. He's just trying to pick up farm. The dude's still behind. As this is the other problem with the center. It hit, didn't it? Did it hit?
I didn't actually see it.
Does it?
The bottom left corner is what we're looking at. Nope, doesn't look like it.
Okay, never mind. Just watch LWX farming. They do eventually pick up that turret bottom side, and LWX does actually have a 30 CS lead. So, despite the slowness of Senna towards this early game, LWX is being controlled, much like Doombeat is.
And this actually works quite well for FPX in that the way FPX want to play out is through these side lanes. So getting some of these structures down does mean they can push out a little bit further in these side lanes, but unfortunately for the moment, because that top lane turret still stands and the mid lane tier 1 still stands as well, they actually can't push in far enough to make much use at the moment of that bottom lane
Destiny
turret.
forces the flash on Curse though. Tien following through, the smite's down. Didn't target him for the ulti as Chris takes the enchanted crystal arrow. Meanwhile, there was a lot used to bargain with the top laner of OMG.
Yeah, good job by Curse to get out of there. I mean, FPX, as you said, committed a lot of resources to that top lane, but at the moment, FPX, they know that, right, we've got this dragon in 50 seconds, so we could have potentially made the pick there onto Curse and then made the play work, but because right now, FPX can't look for a team fight against OMG, so looking for a pick prior to this dragon was their best opportunity of success.
30 seconds till it spawns, while Icon is going to have some time with the Herald. Shelly's going to die here, though, which feels pretty sad, while FPX is a group up 3 mid. Tien off to the side, Hacker coming in. And things getting a little bit tense, but you can see damage starting to rise from LWX, who went back and picked up the Black Cleaver. That's a 2-item center before the 2-item Ash.
And don't forget for everyone in chat that Black Cleaver is super strong on Senna because an auto Q auto fully stacks that Black Cleaver, which is why it has become such a good item and a go-to for this Senna pick. So We'll have to see how LWX is able to use that in these fights, but at the moment, nobody really wants to fight because we can see FLICKR is going to get that dragon that we talked about, and FPX are doing a good job, as we said, of changing this dragon into turret plates and gold for themselves because they don't want to go against this fight of OMG.
Right, group up and get a pick as Chris actually might find the 80 carry into the mouth of Cole. The depth charge launch on the time catch. Icon's in a choke here, so Scout of the Week has to be flushed away from Chris. Icon dealing a bit of damage, but LWX kiting back will get the root onto the mid laner while Doomby sliced and diced up, but the center ulti lay it down, and down goes the Croc. But meanwhile, Icon trying to carry this fight. That's not hard when you've already got a double. Misses onto Doomby, walks forward as the kick flash into the back line. Hacker follows up with his own flash, but he's gone too far while Icon takes the rest. A triple for the mid, and kiting back from FPX.
So Icon does manage to pick up 3, but FPX just about managed to escape as well. FLICKR not quite able to finish Doomby and LWX in the back line. But a turnaround play from OMG, giving them a little bit of gold back into this game.
And Icon had his fight, 3-0. Picked up Ludens and the Oblivion Orb before. That's 2 items. Syndra coming off of 1 moment.
Yeah, that is a lot of gold that's gone over into Icon's hands. And again, it was off the back of FPX started plays. They tried to go for this tower, and then they try to go for a pick as well, but OMG do a good job of denying that. Curse does go a little bit deep here, but at least gets enough setup here for Icon to finish through, and the AoE onto everyone in FPX here is just beautiful from the city.
Very surprised on the back end. I was looking at LWX, but this is what happened here with Gimgoon trying to 1v3. Low health bars, a little bit unlucky. And now 2-4-2. Does have Trinity Forces. We're going to see a dive onto Curse. He's got no turret nearby, so he's going the wrong direction. Hoping to take down TN in the process. Chris doesn't land the dredge line, but versus 3. Curse so far.
OMG are going towards Baron, though. Curse is just buying time here.
Well, 3 people there, and you use Destiny to get this Croc. Doomby does not have teleport. Oh, no, does not have teleport.
And this is what we mean. FPX just make these strange calls around objective timings. Baron is up, and OMG are able to finish this before FPX
Icon
get there.
face checking onto Gimgoon, and one more hit away. It is secured. OMG, the ultimate debate.
And I don't get it. I don't understand why FPX are committing 4 members bot side when Baron is up. So OMG now have got this Baron buff. They can push it super effectively against FPX. And when we said FPX rely on tempo, they're the ones that want to be in control, dictating the side lanes, making sure that they can set off into a 1-3-1 style. Baron makes it so difficult for them to do because OMG automatically have that push pressure.
Yeah, to group up now is so much easier. And Curse playing his job real well here in this game. OMG with Baron gets the shove mid, now heading towards the top side. Thinking about where to go next at the very least. Icon and Curse roaming as a unit.
Doomby still sitting in this bottom lane though, so trying to answer at least for that push. Doesn't have the TP or the Destiny available. They're going to need a little bit of time here before that's up, so FPX trying to clear as best they can, so Doomby can have pressure inside lane, maybe dissuade OMG, but OMG has the Baron buff. This is their best call to just shove as heavily as they can.
And the wave clear, well, it's pretty much Gimgoon and Doomby.
That's because you only need 3 members of OMG here. There's 2 on the top side trying to clear down that top structure as well. Nobody there to try and clear that. So it's pressure across the board for OMG. But now with Doomby hitting that bot lane tower, Curse is going to recall to go and deal with Twisted Fate.
I don't think Gimgoon's GP is as good as it was before. That was a clumsy Q.
The thing here as well from the automation with Doomby is he's not actually, well, at least it looks like at the moment, going towards a Lich Bane. Maybe a Banshee's Veil instead is the call here. And it means that you don't actually have this damage that you really want to as a Twisted Fate to rip through structures on the bottom side. So Doomby might get caught out here.
Dominus time. He's going to Destiny on the spot. Doomby was going where? That ain't a Death Realm. That's just a Doomby thing. Abyssal Voyage is coming in and... What do you say about this? What do you say about that?
OMG says thank you for Dragon, because now you've got Doomby dead for 40 seconds, no TP, no Destiny, and OMG will be able to pick up their 3rd Dragon of the game, getting very close to that Inferno.
He had a pretty clean game until that. You know, the game for Doomby wasn't really that bad.
I'm still surprised with the automation though. The Banshee's Veil now completed. I think you still go Lich Bane. Like, the way FPX are playing is by having side lane control and then having Doomby TP in with the Destiny to force pick plays, and even using the Gangplank ultimate to make sure that they can slow down OMG so they can't run away from the Destiny play. But because he hasn't gone for the Lich Bane, he's got no real pressure on side lanes, and as well, he doesn't hit as hard when he does have that Destiny play to come in and burst down a target. So it's more of a teamfight orientated build for FPX, but that's not how you want to play this Twisted Fate.
Not when OMG have utilized their Baron to get a bit more gold in their back pocket, and now this Dragon. It is a 2k gold lead here, just about, for OMG at 23 minutes in the game. FLICKR takes his time on this, but will eventually pick it up. Move to Soul Point for an Infernal Rift for a Syndra, and this comp, not a bad way to go.
I mean, this is OMG just capitalizing on the mistakes of FPX.
Oh no! Oh, he pressed space. Doinby, stop posting summoners again, brother.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't watch
Doinby
Doinby streams, he tends to post those summoner spells. I mean
he
a
does
lot,
it. It's not
but
just
mostly
his
when he's
stream.
tilted.
It's just competitive. He does it all the time. But you know what happened there is he clicked up to the team, to Destiny there.
Yeah, and then
he
popped
pressed
back to himself.
spacebar as he pressed R, and his mouse was, yeah, unlucky. Very unlucky as FPX. After that, we reset. We head towards the mid lane. Kimgoon, even with 2 items, not doing that much to Cole, who's got himself a Knight's Vow and the Aegis. Aegis, whatever you call it.
Aegis?
I don't know. I think Munchables one time said it's Aegis. Aegis.
Aegis.
Aegis. Ah. So it's Aegis. I don't know. Maybe that's not English.
Honestly, I thought I'd be the one struggling to say words when we got over here.
Dude, I used to call it Gwiznew's Rage Play. That was
There was another one we had the other day, actually, at least at the start of Summer Split. I can't remember what it was. You told me you struggled with.
Oh, who knows? I mean, me and words, man.
Look, at least it's not your job. You know?
Yeah, that's true. All right, Baron at a minute 15. Let's get towards that. Because if FPX are ever going to find a window back in this game, feels like it could be built around a Baron fight or one of those side lanes getting out of hand. While
Destiny
OMG
on top
set
side,
up.
actually. Just saw potential pick here.
Oh, Colt by himself. Now he's going to have to flash over the wall. Doinby has the Ghost activate. He's got his own flash, but chooses not to burn it. Cold, Abyssal Voyage is out, and away he goes.
And that's totally fine. I mean, now you've burnt the Destiny onto Doomby. That's one of their side lane plays down. Still has the TP available for Doomby, but Icon's the same, so can always match, or Curse can match against this Twisted Fate. So right now, well, FPX can't really do too much in this game. And when you're looking at Infernal Soul being up in 2 minutes 40, you got that Baron who's about to spawn in 30 seconds. FPX, it's not like they can just suddenly bum rush the Baron. They don't have the damage for that. They have to rely on outnumbering the likes of OMG at that objective. So OMG are going to take this nice and slow.
Yep. He's just going to hope for FPX that Gimgoon heads towards his 3rd item and is able to knock down some of this front line. Back line, I should say. Icon is a bit of a threat for him, though. And he has no MR, so if Gimgoon gets caught out without orange, he's dead.
And Gimgoon is going towards that later scaling build where you do go like full crit Gangplank and you hit like a truck when you get there. But it's the journey can take a little bit of time, and unfortunately looks like the road might be closed because OMG are putting their foot down in this game and towers are falling. Doomby trying to make a play towards topside towers to answer for OMG's push, but he's now completely out of there. Like, OMG.
Oh, Gimgoon again. The kick flash so nice. Gimgoon will orange forward he goes. The center ult a bit late, and this is not the return of the FPX top laner, that I can guarantee.
And there goes Doomby. He didn't even get the tower. He TP'd in to get that top lane tower, and then at the back because of that pick onto Gimgoon. Like, the shot calling here from FPX on how they want to try and play out this map has just really not come through. And now they are going to struggle because OMG have opened up a little bit of a gold lead for themselves, but definitely they're the ones in control of the map, and they can push into the side of FPX and just take these team fights over and over and suffocate out FPX.
You realize that these 2 different burgers, the meat was fine in both of them. It's just the ingredients. And they're like, hang on a minute. Where are these ingredients coming from? Because they are both off in both burgers. And I have to say, Gimgoon, it started with a cool 1 versus 2 top, but it's ended with him 2-5-2 and being bullied across the map by FLICKR, who has had some pretty exceptional picks so far in game 1.
it really has not come through at all for FPX. And you can see right now, OMG just looking to try and get their waves in order. So top lane is going to be nicely pushing in for them. Curse is guiding that wave into the bot side as well, so then they got pressure across the board. And OMG can now look to group up for this dragon that's about to kick off in 20 seconds. And when you've got to try and get both side lanes in order for FPX, it's going to be, one, incredibly difficult for you to try and make a play, but they're going for that with Doomby.
I mean, Destiny's mid, they're going to 5-stack here. Onto Cold once again, the depth charge and everything used. The backline is where they want to turn their attention. They'll get SMLD, and now versus 4. FPX should have the numbers advantage. LWX takes the ulti of Icon, but his scout of the week was beautiful once again. The sustain ends up healing FPX, but curses into the middle. A full health proc. And FPX are going to start dropping health bars. They need to turn their attention here onto the GA Renekton. As ulti comes out from LWX, he flashes, but not in time. Curse versus the world. And only because FPX got there first, it feels like they win. As Curse to get the knock up, OMG will drop. And that's their first fight of the game.
And finally, they're playing the way the composition works. Doomby, Destiny's in, finds a pick onto OMG right as Curse goes to the back, and there's no minions for Curse to teleport into the fight. It means that then Curse is late to the party, FLICKR isn't in a position to protect SMLZ, who gets dove on by everyone, and now FPX get the dragon and get something back for themselves.
But no, mate, that was a slug. We're walking through the mud here in game one, and I don't know who came out clean because this was a good start. But OMG really had the power to fight back.
Yeah, so basically, SMLZ obviously getting caught. That little bit too far forward. Look where Curse is right now as well. He's got to walk the whole way upriver. So this fight is continuously happening the entire time. Curse still isn't up, still no TP. So OMG will be forced to back away from Baron.
Destiny was available as, oh, close. But Baron stopped, that's the main thing. But pulling Gimgoon's TP.
But look at the bottom wave. You've still got more resources being lost that bottom structure on FPX's side because they're being drawn in. FPX burnt everything to make that last play work. So now they don't have these map side lane plays that they can make, and OMG are trying to punish FPX for this.
Especially when you've got 3.5 items on pretty much everyone across that board. GA down for Curse after the last fight, but that's still a very big Renekton. OMG reset, re-establish control around the Baron, and start this one again. FPX do not have the Destiny, as you mentioned. GP's ulti is available, but that could be a saving grace.
This could turn into a 50-50 though. Tien and FLICKR are the exact same level.
3K, Gimgoon needs to put the ulti down now into the backline. Tien steals the Baron, will go into his GA as Gimgoon gets the barrel chain, but they're going to lose their jungler for the steal that keeps FPX in this game.
And that's exactly it now. With Tien making that steal, FPX will get all those timers back, the teleports cooldowns, getting that Destiny up and available for Doomby as well. And Baron on these side lane plays makes it so difficult for OMG to try and deal with all this pressure in a 1-3-1. And look at the items that are starting to come through as well. Now you've got the Lichbane finish for Doomby. You're starting to get much more on towards Gimgoon as well, although couldn't quite finish off that Steric's Gauge on that last back, but still, FPX now have a potential to start battling back, especially with this dragon in just over 3 minutes.
What a shame OMG decided to 50-50 a Baron with Tien on the rift. Tien, same level as well, by the way, so... Okay. Smite didn't even come through from Hacker.
And that's it. It was a 50-50 call, and we said it right before it kicked off, boat level 14. That was a weird call from OMG where I would have preferred to see them turn on towards a fight instead. Like, the whole idea here is for OMG's team fight composition to draw FPX in, to then have these big engages with Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Scatter the Weeks, Curse gets into the mix. It looks fantastic. That's not what we got. Instead, 50-50 a Baron, and FPX are right back into this game.
You have side laners with Baron. That's an issue. Doomby and Gimgoon now going to be accelerated here. Gimgoon's towards mid, Doomby up in the top lane. And both of them at, well, actually, Doomby's at 4.5 items. So with the good CSing this game, Doomby's really set up to add some pressure. If they kill a member of OMG, bases will break. Base turrets specifically. Gimgoon's still holding mid. Bottom wave looks like a slow push, if not going to reset. Icon's going down there for now, while Doomby holds the fort against Curse top.
Well, it's not just Doomby, it's a lot of members of FPX here, all waiting in the wings to see if they can dive onto Curse. Looking for it now with Doomby on the gold card.
Forward into the base at the very least, they'll go. With Curse getting to a point where the Renekton, not as threatening as he has been, at 33 minutes in. Gimgoon having time with the turret. Icon can't receive the bottom wave, and it is a slow push, I believe. So for FPX, everything in their favor. The Baron doesn't break the base, but nets them some crucial gold to get towards these fourth items.
And they're backing now because they've got that dragon in a minute. So they want to reset, spend that gold, get some wards, and start to get control of this river, because they need to deny OMG this Infernal Soul, because otherwise OMG will be able to find some beautiful fights, and it just gives so much more power to these side laners as well in Curse and Icon.
People that have hit like the tip of the iceberg, the 4-item Syndra. And then you start looking over the board and you go, well, for FPX, they can pick up that Infernal Soul. That should seal the deal. As Destiny was used, Icon flashed. So that's a Syndra summoner as Crisp is here. There's a Blast Cone though. And Infernal Rift would have been Savior as well. As FPX have positional advantage. 30 seconds till this one spawns. And OMG know where Tien is, sitting on a ward that's nicely placed by OMG's side.
It's hard for FPX, though, to try and make these plays now with Destiny not available for Doomby. It ends up not being like the numbers advantage or the perfect goal card onto some of these carries. But now OMG guiding this lane up, but Curse,
they knew. They're on a ward. Is this going to be targeted now? His GA is up available again, but LDX nails down with the ulti. Death charge onto 3. The re-engage from Chris. GA was popped by Curse. They kite back. Doomby gets the card. Cold locked on up. Gimgoon walking in a choke as the gangplank. The gold card even secures the kill. And Doomby grabbing one means we're going to solve point for FPX as well.
Curse going down means that OMG are scattered and trying to get into these corridors to fight against FPX. But when you've got FPX already set up, Curse has gone down. He's a non-factor in this fight. Cold ends up being the one that pays the punishment for OMG. But with Gimgoon's barrels there too, like, I don't know, OMG. The decision-making around these objectives hasn't quite been there yet.
Again, in the mud for game one, definitely feels like the safe way to categorize the start of this series. We're getting comparisons all across the board, and yeah, Gimgoon's been out of gold for the majority of this game. You can see that small bubble where the two versus one was achieved by the GP under turret. But apart from that, Curse has been going up and up. It's a shame he's on something like a Renekton that can't hard carry from this point.
And Gimgoon's only going to get stronger, right? Because he's going to have that Infinity Edge coming through soon. He's just got the BF sword at the moment, but as he starts to pick up more of this gold, as he starts to play more into a side lane, this will just get worse and worse. And Curse is getting to this point now where he's just not going to be able to be strong enough in these fights, and FPX can deal with him either by just picking him off like we saw in that last engagement, or by having Doomby in a side lane pick up away these turrets and then joining in on the rest of OMG as FPX collapse.
The one person he does damage to in LWX is like, how do you get to him? With a Nautilus, with a Doomby who's using Destiny. Gold card at the ready. He runs into mid. Remember, he has this on his hourglass, so he's baiting them in. Cold has been baited in himself, and he won't survive. Onto Curse, that's the next target. FPX have a numbers advantage again with Baron spawning in 35 seconds, but there is an open wave here to get into the base.
Icon was too far pushed up in that top side. He thought he'd be safe with that TP play, but Destiny's faster than teleport. Now FPX crack open the base, finally, and now they can move over towards that Baron that you pointed out, Hysterics.
3.5k gold lead, and with Baron, that's going to accelerate even more. Feels like FPX have hit that point in the game where it's just so hard for OMG to achieve any of these fights. But now with Baron, as you so rightly said, OMG heading out of the base. That inhibitor down. So dangerous now to be OMG as Tien asking for the pick as well. Gold card flashed here onto Icon, and he has no defensive maneuvers. He's just dead.
There's nothing you can do. You get caught out, doesn't even have time to hit the Zhonya's button before he's gone. And now FPX, once again, find the play, they find the pick, and they're looking to try and end.
I mean, they're just going to run it through mid with 45 seconds on Icon. That could be the mistake that breaks the camel's back in game number one for OMG. 5 versus 4. They've got a lot of sustain on FPX. And the minion wave is channeling on in underneath the first Nexus turret while one's getting chipped away. LWX has the range, and this is super easy. Destiny with the cannon barrage, the depth charge on the Cold again. The Tarm Kent not tanky enough to deal with FPX, but Curse wants to get on LWX. You can see how hard it is. And through that mosh pit, FPX find themselves a game one win, but boy, did we travel through the mud to get there.
Wasn't exactly clean from FPX, but they do pick up the win. Eventually being able to find these plays with Doomby on the Twisted Fate, and it felt like every single time that ultimate came off cooldown, it was just Destiny in, find a pick, and